Hi guys, just a quick shout out to two friends who are going to be coming across to us in October. Marty and Kerry from Cornerstone Church in Vacaville. I have enjoyed being in your church the last 3 days, and I'm told you're coming to join us in October for a trip coming with your Vacaville church team. We are so excited and I can't wait to see you guys. Thank you for all your support and your love for us. You guys, you're awesome. Well, we're talking today in Mark chapter 7, and we see Jesus coming out of his phase of popularity, moving into more of the persecution phase. You know that the scribes and the Pharisees hated him. They didn't want anything to do with him. He took their popularity away. He came with a beautiful message of grace as opposed to the law and the traditions of the Old Testament that they had been so hooked up with. Let me read to you the first few sections of chapter 7. The Pharisees and some of the teachers of the law who had come from Jerusalem gathered around Jesus and saw some of his disciples eating food with hands that were unclean, that is, unwashed. The Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they give their hands a ceremonial washing, holding to the tradition of the elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash, and they observe many other traditions. Let me stop there and talk to you about traditions today. You know, I by nature am a real traditionalist. I'm a real sentimental by nature. For me, they're beautiful traditions that go with Christmas, albeit most of them are sentimental traditions. They're not sacred ones. We are discerning enough, I think, to know the difference between them. But there are certain traditions that the Pharisees, the scribes, had got themselves really got their can I say knickers in a knot about that whole deal they had. And so they were nitpicking about the smallest of things. And the traditions had triumphed over the beauty of all that Jesus came to offer to them. Anyway, in this whole tradition thing, it's interesting because there's nothing wrong with traditions. But when traditions are taken to the extent where they supersede the beauty of who God is, they supersede the wonder of his plan for salvation, and they substitute for the things of God that only God can do. That's when we have a problem with tradition. But once again, I have the words of a wise man ringing in my ears. And he came to me one day and I asked him, I said, what do you think about traditions? And he said, traditions are a waste of time unless they have some redemptive value. If the traditions we hold to are traditions that could change somebody's life, if the traditions we hold to are things that could change the course of how we think, if they could make a spiritual difference in people's lives, for goodness sake, don't get rid of them. Hold on to them. Because if those traditions have potential for changing somebody's life, they must be good. They must be good. So this is the dividing line. Now, those of you who know our Norwegian Settlers Church, we're an old church. We were planted 130 something years ago, and it's a beautiful church. And I would like to think that we found a beautiful balance between the old traditions of the church, which I still sometimes hanker after, but they didn't really have much life-changing potential. And so over the course of time, we've had to kind of let them go. And that's been sometimes a hard thing to do, but at the end of the day, it's a waste of time and of energy unless it has life-changing potential. So look at your life. What are some of the traditions you have? Have they got life-changing potential? If they have, then keep them going. Things like reading the Bible together with your family before they go off to school is something we've done, and when our kids were small we did that, and I think those are traditions that had life-changing potential. Church is not a tradition, it's a necessity. So we've got to work out what's necessary and what's traditional and be discerning enough to know the difference between the two. Church attendance, participation, prayer, worship are all parts of the things that are absolutely essential. Those are not traditions. So let's be discerning and know the difference between the two. And if you find a tradition that you happen to love, don't get upset if you have to lose it unless it has life-changing potential. So there's just a practical thought for you today as you work out your way through the complications of life. Make sure you make the main thing, and you're going to be fine. Have a great day, you people. Cheers.